Imagine a man who rose from a single skyscraper deal, who turned a $1 million inheritance into a whopping $7.5 billion empire, survived six bankruptcies, conquered reality TV, and now rules as a president, yet hides a money circuit so ruthless that it favors failures like fuel. What if one mental key from him could 10x your income or bankrupt you overnight? You won't believe the blueprint he guards. Stay logged in. This changes everything. The Donald Trump, the 47th US president, serving his second non-consecutive terms since January 2025 after winning the 2024 election. He is a real estate billionaire, media man, and a reality TV star turned politician, currently the oldest president ever at 79. With a whopping net worth of around 7.5 to $10 billion from real estate, branding, properties, and socials. From Queen's route to White House power, he dominates headlines with executive orders on immigration, AI, and tariffs while facing lawsuits over his bold policies. Donald Trump portfolio, the ultimate wealth portfolio, includes 40% of real estate, 30% of self-branding, and 20% of media. Donald Trump built his fortune mainly through real estate developments, then scaled it with branding, licensing, TV and media, and later his social media company and political fame. The core part is the real estate deals. Trump joined his father's New York real estate business in 1960, then shifted from middle class housing in Queens to high end Manhattan properties in 1970s. The major moneymakers is the redeveloping of the hotel into the Grand Hyatt, building Trump Tower, and buying developing office buildings, penthouse, and hotels in New York and other cities. Branding and licensing. He turned his surname Trump into a global luxury brand, licensing it to hotels, apartments, towers, golf resorts, and products like ties, suits, vodka, etc. Owned by others who paid him fees to use his name. This generates tens of millions annually. Next comes post presidency and social media. After entering politics, Trump's profile increased worldwide, which in turn made his name and properties more valuable and allowed him to raise large sums through speaking, events, and political fundraising networks. He also gained a major stake in Trump Media and Technology Group, which at times added billions on paper to his net worth through stock market valuations, further expanding the sources of his fortune. Trump's lifestyle and expenses. Trump's lifestyle burns $100 million yearly, but every dollar doubles as a money machine. Lavish cash burns include Trump Force One custom 747 jet, burning $50,000 fuel an hour, flying him to rallies in style, $30 million year upkeep on his Florida winter White House hosting $10 million elite events yearly. Not just this, but Trump gold obsession. $20 million alone spent on Trump towers. Wedding cost includes $100 million for family weddings, a $5 million monthly security, yet properties flips bill into branding gold lavish life funds itself. The mystery is he spends like a king, rules like an empire. The psychology behind Trump's wealth creation. He walks into every room like he already owns the building, and somehow, a few years later, the deed has his name on it. That is not an accident, it is a money mindset engineered like a weapon. The main core mindset behind this money was Donald Trump was raised to see money as a scoreboard, not just a survival skill. Every deal, every building, every headline is a point in a game where only acceptable outcome is winning bigger than last time. He trains his mind to think in extremes. If other sees risky, he sees leverage. If other sees too big, he sees too small to matter. Trump's core psychology has three pillars. Number one, obsession with scale. Small deals drain his energy. Only massive history making plays excite him. Second one is detachment from criticism. Attacks from media or rivals become background noise, not breaks. Third one is identify as a winner. Even in public disasters, he repeats one belief: I come out on the top in the end, until reality eventually bends closer to that story. The key psychological traits of Donald Trump wealth creation are: Trump's first defining trait is audacity. He doesn't ask, can I afford this? But how can I control this is his preliminary question. Then he pulls banks, partners, and government into his vision. His second trait is tolerance of chaos. He is willing to walk into situations where billions are at stake, knowing the downside could be humiliation or collapse, and still choose to move. The risks he took were not small. Signing personal guarantees on huge loans for casinos and skyscrapers, knowing one downturn could drag him under. Stepping from business into politics, risking half his customer base to gain a level of power and visibility that no businessman had combined. Therefore, to him, risk is acceptable if two conditions exist. It gets massive attention and someone else's money carries a large part of weight. This is the hidden formula. Donald Trump's ego, vision, and money flow. Trump's vision stretches decades ahead. He doesn't just see a building, he sees a skyline where his name becomes part of his city's identity. He prefers assets that can generate money for a lifetime: towers, golf courses, resorts, rather than a quick one time hits, because they keep feeding the Trump image year after year. His ego is not just a side effect, it's a financial tool. The ultimate money flow for him is never just income and expense, it's a circuit. Attention creates brand power attracts deals, deals create cash and more attention. He recycles every headline, every controversy, every photo back into this loop, keeping money and influence in constant. But behind the golden glass, there were moments when the circuit almost burned out. There were times when debt towered over his assets, when project collapsed, when the word bankruptcy hung over his empire like a storm. Most people would shrink, protect, or go quiet. But Trump did the opposite. He went louder, negotiated harder, turned his near ruins into the proof that he was too big to ignore. His comeback code has mainly three steps: reframe, publicly label failures as a strategic move using the laws or smart business so the story never becomes I lost, but I outplayed the system. Second thing is renegotiate. Sit with banks, partners, point out if he goes down, they lose more, forcing them to restructure deals, cut debts, and keep him in the game. Reinvest, the final point. Shift platforms when one arena burns out: casinos to television, television to politics, politics to media platforms. Each stage builds on the last, keeping his legacy. The mystery is not that Donald Trump failed and came back. It's that he turned his failures into fuel for a bigger narrative. To most people, a collapse is just the end. To him, it's just the middle of story where sooner or later he intends to stand the top again, looking down from a tower with his name blazing across. Looking closely into his wealth creation and his psychology, the risk and the failure. Finally, there are some key lessons which we can learn or copy to get successful. Lesson number one: brand yourself ruthlessly. Trump turned his name Donald into a $500 million per decade ATM. He slapped it on hotels, suits, steaks, everything. That's power. Your personal brand should work harder than your hands ever will. Make your name a hook. Let people remember you before they remember what you sell. Viewers follow you, not your content. Clients trust you, not your service. When your name stands tall, your empire stands unshaken. Lesson number two, leverage others people money and their trust. Here's the truth. Bank paid for 95% of his towers. He mastered the art of using resources without owning them. You can do the same, even without a bank. Borrow time, attention, and opportunity. Pitch bold visions, deliver smart results, and never risk your core cash. Wealth isn't about spending money, it's about controlling flow and perception. The last lesson is the bold lesson, maybe. Spin failures into fuel. Trump went bankrupt 6 times. Six. Yes, 6 times. Yet the world called him genius. Why? Because he owned his losses and rebranded them as a strategy. Every flop became part of the show. Here is your thing to do. Don't hide your failures. Publicize them. Publicize your comeback. Let your scares sell the story. The audience doesn't want a hero who never fails. They want a fighter who always gets up. So, what's the real code? Copy the weapons, avoid the traps, conquer your game, build your brand like your life depends on it. Borrow time, money, and trust like a visionary leader. And when you fall, rise louder than the last time. Because billionaires don't wait for miracles, they manufacture moments. The wallet's open, and the blueprint is yours.